Can you hear me? Yeah. Yes. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our session to investigate about mobility solutions, mobile solutions for service industries. I recently, it was just on Saturday, I listened to a professor of the university, Professor Hengstleger. He's a human genetic professor of the university, medicine university, and he said, we have all the answers. We only need to find the right questions. So to help with this, later on I will also come to you and ask you for questions for the audience. And please welcome with me now Vincent Santacroce from Poste Italiane, Ignacio Garcia from Vodafone, and Christian Klöppel from CSC. Now, my name is Gabriele Adl. I'm heading up the travel and transportation industries at SAP for EMEA and DACH, Germany, Austria, Switzerland as well. So I would like to ask my panelists for a short introduction now. Vincent, please.
So, hello all, good morning. As Gabi said, I'm Vincent Santacroce. I joined Poste Italiane in 2004, and I'm responsible for research and innovation. And I'm also a project leader of our major mobility project, that is the electronic mailman project, that I will try to explain with you in the next half an hour.
Hi, my name is Ignacio Garcia. I'm the global head of ERP at Vodafone. I've been working in SAP and transformation program for 15 plus years, and I've been with Vodafone for 5 plus years. And yeah, we have a global platform with 80,000 users in there, an SAP platform, and we really believe on mobility, of mobilizing our enterprise. So that's why I'm here.
Christian Klöppel. I'm heading up the Mobile Business Center of Excellence at CSC in Germany, Central Europe. We have about 40 people strong, dedicated team of experts around there, caring for all the topics around mobile strategy, application development, solution development, security, of course, and at least enterprise mobility management, about device management, and so on.
Thank you very much. So may I start with some of the questions now. Maybe, Vincent, what do you think are the critical success factors for a mobility project, or what were the critical success factors for your project?
Okay, thank you, Gabi. I would like to say that probably the major critical success factor is understand what you want to go mobile with. When I say mobile, I'm talking about how to re-engineer and change your processes. I'm not talking about laptops or being wireless connected. In Poste Italiane, we wanted to go mobile and put, more than go mobile, let's say, put technology in the last mile. So, put technology directly in a mobile way. So we first of all approached our project considering a change management project. I'm bringing technology to colleagues that aren't used to use technology, so understand how to help them, how to make it a success, first of all as a project, logically making the right technology choices. That is absolutely mandatory. So the critical success factor, to answer the question, is approach your users in a correct way and understand how to review the processes considering that you're putting technology, in this case mobile technology, on top of them.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Maybe, Ignacio, what do you think, what would you say is important for what was important for your mobility project?
Okay, I mean, I haven't described what we have done so far in mobility. And maybe we'll have the time to talk about that later, but I think that think big and start small is one big advice. I'm saying that because you need to have the vision on where you want your company to be in terms of mobility. In our case, on the enterprise world, we're planning to create a new environment of mobility in our user customer base. We really believe that the devices are going to come into the workspace pretty soon. and 50 or 60% of the people will be working with iPad type of devices close. So one is define how big you want to go and set that strategy, then choose the right technology, yeah? Because if you don't do that and you start only with small projects and you don't think big, you're going to start building point-to-point solutions and you're going to find a spaghetti type of architecture. And then you're going to need to invest a lot of money to undo that and redo the proper architecture. So that's why to have the vision of where you want to go and select the right technology is key. And then one thing that we, when I say start small, we create a small task force team with no real hierarchy in our company. We don't have something in our ERP team called mobility, or we didn't have at the time. We just choose people that was interested in working in mobility, also from our vendors, and we create this spirit of collaboration. And guys, the people wants to work on this, the people is really excited about mobility, and you get all of that energy, and then your project flows. So think big, where you want to go, choose the right technology, start small with something that you can deliver pretty quick. That is my advice.
Thank you very much. And probably Christian, as a mobile expert, what would you suggest?
Yeah, okay, we have, of course, a couple of ideas derived from different customer situations we have during the last 2 years. First of all, I think that we are, even if I'm a technology guy at all, I think we have to come from a business perspective to that. So the question is not, there is a tablet, there are iPhones, iPad, and so on, and everybody wants to use that. Okay, that's nice, but we have to think about the benefit we get out of these devices. So every time we want to spend money for some new IT project, or we need some budget to do that, there has to be a cost saving, or there has to be a raise of revenue, of course. Otherwise, nobody will pay the money for that. So the question is, what's in it for me? What can I get out of these devices and these innovative technologies? That's the first one. The second one is that some people think they could mobilize their applications by putting a Citrix client on the iPad and putting SAP GUI or even worse things on that. So forget that, please. That won't work. I think one very critical success factor is to leverage the native benefits of these devices. So drill down your 150 field-strong SAP GUI mask to a usable, flexible, native UI on the iPad, and enable your field force to use it in the way that they should use an iPad. So that is really important. So use it the right way.
Thank you very much, Christian. So maybe any other comments from your side? Like Vincent, we talked a little bit about the priorities. Yeah. What are the priorities when you go for an implementation of a mobility project in such a big enterprise like Poste Italiane is? What would you think are the priorities here?
As Ignacio just said, is think big but act for small steps. So when a company like Poste Italiane decides to launch a project like this, for example, the project I'm managing, we're talking about bringing mobile devices to 40,000 employees. Employees are spread all around the country. So that means that you have to think smart, not try a big bang, test and tune as much as you can, pilot, start from small, make the right choices in terms of infrastructure, in terms of which is the device management platform that you're going to run, which is your system integrator that will build your apps, your application that will run on the device, how you're going to manage training, how you're going to manage support to your final users. So there are so many aspects that you have to figure out, and the only way, because you will never have the right questions at the beginning when you're starting, is start a pilot, test it for a couple of months, get out with a lessons learned list, try to address them all, Possibly, because I think this is one of the most important things, having your users in the project, so letting them help you understand what they feel comfortable with and what they would like to change. So at that point, you have all the information that you need in order to understand how to extend and implement and develop a project. And probably one of the other aspects that I consider very, very important, put mobile what you think is really needed to be mobile. There are a lot of stuff that we just put mobile because we think it's cool, but it's stuff that if you don't really need to do it while you're on a train, on a bus, in your car, just don't put it there. It doesn't make sense. Don't do it just because you want to give an iPad to your managers or to your executives to let them do something that they can do also when they're behind their desk.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Ignacio, would you like to add or please comment to other topics?
No, absolutely. I think that it is true. So the first challenge is to get something that works and excite some people. So in our case, we went for the executives, yeah. So making sure that they were happy, and it was not a lot of robustness in the back end for them. So if you are talking about 20 to 50 users at the beginning, I mean, you can do almost face-to-face support to them, yeah? So yeah, they call you personally, they are not calling a help desk, you don't have a big team behind that. And that is cool, yeah, because you create the interest, you create the excitement, and you gain more support and more budget to invest in your project. But then the next big question is, how do I make this big, and how do I industrialize two things, the deployment and the production, but also the support. And for us, there are still challenges there. So how do you create your shared service center? And how do you make sure that your support and the people expecting the phone understand that? How do you make sure that you are able to trace the problems down? So that was and is still a big headache for us in terms of volume and going massive with a lot of users. So think small, start, but then is how do we industrialize that? Yeah, so that is one area that for us was key, just to make this solid. Yeah. The other big area in how you make this big and supportive is think on the devices and make sure that the applications are easy to use and intuitive. Then on your device strategy, in our case, it was pretty easy because Vodafone already had a store, so a place where all your applications are there, and we're using that. So if you don't have one store, make sure that you build one. Because for one or two users, you can deploy that in their own handset. But if you are thinking, in our case, 80,000 users, you need to make sure that your deploying mechanism is intuitive and they know that they have to go to the store, click there, get it down, easy, everything has to work the first time. So think on those things, and then integrate that with your device management. Make sure that you are able to manage your devices as well. So one thing is to go fast and get the 50 users. The other thing is, how do you support that? How do you deploy? How do you make intuitive for the users to download the new apps? Yeah? That to me is the next challenge, and we are in that journey. So the 50 first user was easy. We're now in the journey to go to the 80,000. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ignacio. So, Christian?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. That's exactly the point where we are at the moment. Everybody wants to find his way, how to prepare himself, how to set up his infrastructure, his organization for what's there to come for the next years. And I think, well, I'm sure everybody has to rethink his classical understanding of IT, since we are dealing with something totally new here. Everybody is totally overrun by the highly dynamic market. We are overrun by these short innovation circles, and every company has to face the fact that consumerization, as we call that, is there. It is there. People are trying to use their private devices. They want to use it, and the leadership regarding the innovations has moved from the IT company to the consumer. And a question we are asked very often is, how can I do that? What is the right way to prepare for that? And I totally agree with you guys that you have to start with small steps, and small steps are exactly the right thing. Do a pilot implementation, get a feeling of what is happening there. Try to understand how it works, how people are going to interact with the company and with the backend systems and with the devices, of course. And then the first step would be set up your infrastructure and set up your organization. Take care for no-brainers, as many people say, like mobile device management. It is a no-brainer. It is not a no-brainer at all. Everybody who has to deal with those masses of people who are going to use these devices like you do knows that that is not just clicking setup.exe, running the installation of SAPPHIRE, for example, and inserting some phone numbers and getting this thing run. That won't work. You have to consider so many different groups of people who are going to work with that. You have management, you have field service people, you have people from HR or from sales, of course, and they all have different requirements regarding the flexibility and the application they are using on their devices. So you have to consider that. You have to set up a mobile device management strategy, you have to set up a device strategy, you have to set up a security strategy, since you have a lot of different categories of assets you need to care for. And there are so many questions you need to have an idea of just before deploying about 10,000 iPads in the company and then say, oops, okay, they are gone, how do you get them back again? You should think about that, and you should set up device management, care for security, and so on, to be well prepared. Single sign-on, yeah, there's so many complicated things, and it's different to what we know from the classical understanding of IT. It's something new. It's something new.
So thank you very much. So this leads me to, since I'm listening to your answers, yeah, I think, okay, business critical. We know that an ERP solution is business critical. Yeah, if delivery doesn't find the customer, this is a big issue. But what I hear from you, and you are all of the same opinion, that the mobility solutions, mobile solutions, they are business critical. So they need to work. The end user needs to have his PDA to work, and you need to make sure that the right data are transferred and the right communication is in place, right? So this leads me also to one of the questions regarding why did you decide for SAPPHIRE, SAP SAPPHIRE? Yeah.
There are plenty of reasons why we have chosen this device management platform. Let me give just quickly some highlights about our project. We launched in 2008. The scope was to let our mailman act in a different way in doing his traditional work, that is mainly to deliver mail and parcels. And considering the crisis of the postal industry and mail volumes dropping down, how could we figure out new business, and how could we figure out use our mailman as a channel? So our kind of final strategy is, how could we bring our post office at the house of our client through our mailman channel? In order to do that, you need to have all the information, all the data, all the assets that are available in a postal counter. So you need to put on technology. So we choose to do it logically in a mobile way. It would be very hard to go around with a PC. So we equipped all our mailmen with a mobile device. Logically consider the kind of work they do, that it's a real mobile work. It's not just being wireless connected, but we're talking about somebody that walks kilometers and kilometers per day under the rain, snow, heat, or whatever. So it's mobile 360 degrees. So a rugged mobile device, a mobile printer, he will need to print out receipts or stuff like that, and a POS, a mobile POS, because he will need to accept payments, possibly with credit cards or debit cards or whatever, and not with cash. So in doing this, the fact is that we're talking about 40,000 mailmen, so 40,000 devices, 40,000 mobile printers, 40,000 POSs. It means a lot of assets that are around there. And they're assets that are not physically in one place, but all spread around the country, and that are really spread around the country, not only in offices, but on the streets every minute of the day. So that means to have a robust management platform, device management platform that permits you to monitor, tune each single device. And we're talking about multi-devices, multi-purpose. We're talking about multi-operating systems. We're talking about multi-manufacturers, because companies like post operators will buy and substitute devices with public bids. So you don't choose one single device and then you stick with it for the rest of your life. So it means this time I may have a Motorola, next time I may have a Psion, they don't exist anymore. I may have an Intermec, I may have a Datalogic, I may decide to go to a consumer device, so I have a Nokia, a Casio, an Apple iPhone or whatever. So you need a device management platform that is open to this, and that has to be a device management platform that doesn't simply check the state of the art of your devices, but helps you in the day-by-day activities. So it has to be a platform that addresses your issues, helps your final users, maybe substitutes them, permits to manage correctly all patches, firmware. It's able to go down to each single device, understand where it is, and help bi-directional your final user. And SAPPHIRE met completely our requirements, and not because we're here, but it was the right choice to make at that time.
Thank you very much. Maybe, but yeah, would you like to add, or I'm coming to another question?
No, I think I will comment on our experience, I would like to talk a bit about our project, and then you will get the context of what we're going to say. So again, one global platform is one SAP ecosystem, all the countries there, 80,000 users, and we want to drive speed, and we want to drive simplicity and compliance of how the people is using the system, because they find some process too complicated on the screen, and we want to drive that, and we really believe in that. It's in our DNA as a company, the mobility. Yeah? So that was a challenge. We didn't want to go point-to-point solutions without a proper architecture, so we did a proper analysis, and SUP was the answer for what we were looking. So a platform that can connect with multiple backends and that can drive all the controls and all the developed tools that will allow us to do multiple devices. So we have multiple backends, multiple devices. We wanted to go there. We choose SUP, and we're happy. I mean, SUP is proven to be the right tool for us. But in Vodafone also, we had a different device management strategy, so we choose to not use SAPPHIRE. But the good history about this is that the two things integrate well. So you can have another, if you already have a mobile device management solution, and you are planning to use SUP, that is going to work, because we prove it. It's working for us. So yeah, it's also about that. It's also about the interconnectivity between products and the fact that you are not restricted to have the whole suite. I think that this is important to highlight.
Christian, in this case, but I want to ask you a different question now.
Okay.
Do you think there is a difference for service industries and, for example, for manufacturing industries to answer this question?
Well, I don't know if it is specifically to this question. Device management, when we're talking about SAPPHIRE or similar products, is something everybody needs, and that's quite a cross-industry thing. But I think to come to these awesome gadgets I brought with me, the special thing in the services industry is that nobody would be so stupid to put a native iPad, as it comes originally out of the box, to a field service worker. You will get thousands of pieces back after a week. It will be broke within minutes. And that was one of the challenges we had. We did a mobile strategy for a large aviation MRO service provider, and the question was, okay, if I am going to use a state-of-the-art device like an iPad, I have to answer a couple of questions. One of the questions is, how will they survive my everyday work? And even regarding a fragile thing like an iPad or an iPhone, there is an answer, and that's the right moment to introduce these gadgets. This is how an iPhone could look like, to bring on a wristband for a service engineer, or this is how an iPad could look like. This is shock resistant. I could throw it away, but I don't want to hurt this screen here. That's one aspect. So prepare these devices for your everyday work. They need to resist. The second thing is, we are talking about totally new influences, like Wi-Fi interferences in big manufacturing plants where you have a lot of steel around you. That won't work, so we have to find solutions for that. What about people working under the sun all day long in an area with about 45 degrees? Every other device will turn off after some minutes. And this is something you also need to consider. So if we are going to use iPads or Android devices or whatever, we need to prepare them for these special demands in the services area, I think.
Thank you very much, Christian. I think for the last 5 minutes, I will ask the audience if there are any questions to my panelists. No? Any questions from the audience? Yes, please. What would be your question?
My question would be, for example, how long will it take to build up a solution for, let's say, 300 people, field workers?
Maybe you can.
Who would like
I can
to
jump
take the
in
question?
directly to that question, but maybe you can give some insights in your projects. I would say, well, basically, of course, as I always say, it depends. That's an answer everybody is expecting from me. But a typical thing regarding mobility is that I think it is much less complicated than classical IT. We are not talking about complex projects having a technical specification of about 800 pages. We are often able to describe what a mobile application should do on less than 10 pages. And that is a size which is consistent over the whole project. So we're not talking about years. We're not talking over millions. Of course, you need to get the hardware. You need to set up some server systems. But development of these solutions is done pretty quickly. And I think we are, in best case, talking about sometimes weeks, maybe some months, but not longer.
I can share you my experience. Yeah. So again, the depends is the right answer. But if you are looking for something that is no point-to-point and no just get it one app, but you are really thinking of mobilize more than one app, and you are really thinking to put your infrastructure, that I like to call plumbing, that phase is tough, and you need to do proper IT for that phase, the plumbing. Get it right, get your own design, and make sure that your security is there, your single sign-on is there, your relay servers are there, your gateway is there, your SUP is there. You get it right, you connect everything. That is, for us, was 6-month program, and you need to think that we have a 3 months provisioning in our own data center because we're a big corporation. So considering these 3 months, it was like a 6-month period. And then the applications itself, when you have the plumbing done, yeah, that is a different business altogether. You can get, depending on the complexity of the application, an application in weeks. But the plumbing will take 6 to 9 months, depending on how complex is your corporation, I would say. That was my experience.
I'll give also our experience on this topic. And as Ignacio and Christian said, I think it depends a lot on what you want to bring out there. And I'll make a couple of samples of what we're doing in Poste Italiane. If I think about the mailman, I'm thinking about something that was not used to technology. So it's not only a question of choosing the right device, choosing the right device platform, choosing the right and building the right application, but it's a lot of question of change management and training to technology users that are not used to have technology in their mind and their day-by-day work. I'm talking about an employee, a colleague that is used to have his bag, his mail, be able to read, understand, optimize his journey, and deliver mail. So there was also a situation of training to put in place, and all around the country spread. On the other side, we are, as Poste Italiane, also an early adapter and the first wave of Windows 8, so we're testing Windows 8 right at the moment, and we decided to implement a pilot with a mobile project. That meant to bring new apps to our sales reps. So I'm thinking about this project because we were talking about 250 sales reps. In that case, we were talking about colleagues used to technology, used to work with the BlackBerries, with smartphones and stuff like that. So we made it in 1 month to build a CRM app and a DMS app, because they were applications they were used to. Luckily, they were legacy systems, so back-end systems that were open to just build the front end and put it on a tablet. So in that case, we made it in 1 month in order to start it up and have our sales reps going out with tablets and using mobile applications.
There is one question from my side, because I like to think about the future, and as I do have telecom here and an expert, and also as Poste Italiane is innovation and research, what do you think is the future of mobile solutions? Maybe I repeat my question. So what do you think, what is the future, where we are going in future with our mobile solutions, mobile technology? What do you think are the new business scenarios?
I think from a technical perspective, we have to expect a very, very heterogeneous platform landscape. So we're talking about iOS and Android today, but nobody knows what we will be talking about in about 6 months. Might be the same, might be something new. And my suggestion is to prepare for whatever there comes. It's difficult, of course, but times have changed, and we should be open whatever there comes. We are talking about mobility as just one channel, one additional channel, and there will be more in the future. We are talking about glasses already. Maybe we are talking about walls and tables in the future.
Thank you, Christian. I think we are at the end of the panel. Maybe have again an additional answer. Is this okay?
Okay, really quick. I mean, I personally believe that the people will bring the devices to work, and this is already happening, but this is going to happen more and more. The people is going to ask to have in their work environment the same level of usability that they have in the real life, and that is already happening. And you have two choices: or you start doing things that are unstructured, or you put your platforms well to make sure that you can cope with this heterogeneous environment. So my advice is, things are happening, things are going to be heterogeneous, but if you prepare your corporation to deal with that, then you're in a good place. That is.
I'll give a quick one-phrase answer. I think it's a huge challenge for IT departments, and from now on, when they have to implement any kind of asset or application, they have to think that it has to run from a smartphone to a smart TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great discussion. Unfortunately, we were all of the same opinion. Usually, when you see the political discussions, they are all discussing against each other. So thank you very much to my panelists. Thank you very much for attending the session. I believe you will also be available for questions afterwards if you like to approach.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.